Kate and William's wedding was a momentous, historical event. It held the world spellbound because of its glittering royalty, romance, and magic. A fairy tale story. April 29, 2011 is a day this couple and the 2 billion people who watched it won't forget. Some say it was the most watched event in history. Things have changed a lot since then. Now this beloved royal couple are parents to 3 of the cutest royal kids ever and next in line to the British throne. Back in March 2004, the paparazzi captured William and Kate skiing together in the French Alps. The Sun published the headline in their newspaper, "Finally, Wills gets a girl." That thrust Kate into the spotlight, where she has never left. Let's remind ourselves of those magical moments 12 years ago. Kate and William dated on and off for 10 years before finally tying the knot at Westminster Abbey. William proposed to her while they were in Kenya. He had decided that Lake Rotunda would be the perfect spot to go down on his knee and pop the question. In his hand, he had his late mother's engagement ring. The night before their wedding, each one battled to sleep. No wonder they had wedding jitters. They tried to calm them by spending time with her family at the Goring Hotel. It was close to Buckingham Palace, a very luxurious hotel. William and Harry, who was William's best man, stayed at Clarence's house the night before. On the day of the wedding, Kate had just a short journey to make from the hotel to Westminster Abbey. Her dad, Michael, was also with her in the car. He would walk her down the aisle later. On their way to the Abbey church, Michael looked as if his emotions were getting the most of him. Kate said to him, "Please, Daddy, don't cry. It will set me off too." This was no ordinary wedding. Even though she had been up already since 6 in the morning, she was not going to let her emotions get to her. Before the service, the Abbey's bells were already ringing joyously across London as the guests started arriving. By 8 a.m., the Abbey's doors had swung open. There would be plenty of official guests and friends of the couple, as well as people from the world of entertainment and sport. Around 2,000 specially invited guests arrived to share the couple's joy. Royalty started arriving later. From 10:30 a.m., royal family members and Her Majesty the Queen and His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh were arriving. They were greeted at the Great West Door by the Dean. What fanfare there was by the state trumpeters of the household cavalry as the Queen and her husband arrived. Soon after them, the bridal party arrived. Catherine was a picture as she stepped out of her car in the magnificent lace and ivory dress. Her dress was an Alexander McQueen creation. She had a bouquet consisting of lily of the valley, myrtle, hyacinth, and of course, Sweet William. On her head was the Cartier halo tiara. It was originally the Queen Mother's, and then Queen Elizabeth's. From queen to future queen. Catherine and her father started the procession to the high altar. This was a walk of 97 meters. It was a beautiful sight. Catherine walking down the aisle that had been transformed into an avenue of trees, maples, and hornbeams. These reflected the love the couple had for the English countryside. The Westminster Abbey Choir sang "I Was Glad" by Charles Hubert Hastings Parry. They were accompanied by the choir of Her Majesty's Chapel Royal, St James's Palace, the London Chamber Orchestra, and the fanfare team of the Central Band of the Royal Air Force all joined in the exquisite interlude, which was conducted by James O'Donnell, organist and master of the choristers. Prince William was waiting at the altar for her. Kate was a vision as she glided up in her magnificent attire, looking breathtakingly beautiful. It is tradition that the groom doesn't look at the bride until she arrives at his side. He is the last person to see his bride. She didn't have to worry. Harry kept his brother informed. "Well, she looks beautiful, I can tell you that," he said. By the time she did reach William, he agreed wholeheartedly with Harry. He said to Catherine, "You look beautiful." They said their marriage vows upon the stunning Cosmati pavement laid in 1260. The Archbishop of Canterbury conducted the marriage. Everyone joined in to sing "Guide Me, O Thou Great Redeemer," a beloved Welsh hymn that is often sung at state occasions. Then they said their vows. Eventually, The time came when Prince William took the ring and placed it on the fourth finger of Catherine's left hand, and the Archbishop addressed the congregation. Don't miss this. Watch it happen here. The British national anthem was sung during the ceremony as well. Once the signing of registers was done, they moved to Buckingham Palace. The newlyweds left for Buckingham Palace to loud cheers and bells ringing out the good news. Can you believe the full tolling that was rung lasted 3 hours? These bells toll for only significant occasions. One of the ringers remembered ringing the bells in celebration of Prince William's birth. The crowd had just one thing on their mind: to see the newlyweds kiss on the Buckingham Palace balcony. They enthralled the ecstatic crowd with not one but 2 kisses. The bells rang, the fighter planes soared overhead, and heart-shaped balloons floated up into the air. The crowd couldn't stop cheering and applauding, and all you could see was a sea of waving flags. After this, the Queen hosted a lunch at Buckingham Palace for just a few selected guests who attended the wedding service. The couple then headed off to Clarence's house to change for the evening reception. This was a special highlight of the day. William and Kate drove away in a very prized old Aston Martin of Prince Charles's, with a number plate saying, "Just Wed." There was just one little blunder, and you can't really blame Prince William. He must have been so nervous, but he forgot to release the car's handbrake, and they rode the whole trip between Buckingham Palace and Clarence's house with brakes on. An RAF helicopter flew over the palace as a surprise for Prince William, who was at the time an RAF helicopter pilot himself. Kate adorned herself in yet another Alexander McQueen dress for the evening events at Buckingham Palace, and Prince Charles hosted a small dinner party at Buckingham Palace for close family and friends. William had 2 wedding cakes chosen for their reception. There was the traditional wedding cake, which was truly fit for the royals. Just look at it. And it's no typical frumpy fruitcake either. The traditional English wedding fruitcake, as Chris Dodd, the pastry chef at London's Dalloway Terrace, says, is an elaborate mixture of reconstituted dried fruits, which have been soaked in fruit juices and an alcoholic beverage such as port, sherry, rum, or even whiskey. Queen Victoria started the tradition back in 1840. The ingredients were considered symbols of prosperity and wealth, representing the vastness of the British Empire. William chose a sweet and favourite way to start their married life, and this was a chocolate biscuit cake. It was created by the biscuit maker McVitie's. It was a secret royal recipe. Just one secret we'll tell you is that 1,700 crushed rich tea biscuits and nearly 40 pounds of dark chocolate were used. Harry entertained everyone. Apparently, Harry was going to say something about Kate's killer legs at the reception. His girlfriend at the time, Chelsea Davy, told him to cut that line out so as not to cause any embarrassment. He did an excellent job otherwise with his speeches. He told everyone that William didn't have a romantic bone in his body until he met Kate. He did an impression of William calling Kate his babykins. Harry had them all laughing, and of course, Kate weeping. Then the palace ballroom turned into party jubilation. William and Kate had their first dance to the tune of Ellie Goulding, who sang Your Song for them, and the celebrations continued. There was a firework display in Buckingham Palace Gardens that brought the events to an end. And that's where the couple spent their first wedding night, at Buckingham Palace. Traditionally, a couple leaves for their honeymoon on the day of their wedding. Not William and Kate. They left 10 days later to a private island in the Seychelles. It's been 12 years, and still the world stays captivated by the lives of this special royal couple, the next in line to the British throne. Time flies when you're having fun, and there are 3 gorgeous kids to show for it. After saying their I do's 12 years ago to the chorus of bells and cheers, William and Kate are still receiving cheers and claps all these years later from people all around the world. The world remains in love with them. It's true, no one knows what really goes on behind the gilded doors of their royal residence, but Kate and William continue to mesmerize and charm.